On the microphones, pure and uncensored American straight talk. Never quit. You're locked and loaded with Chris Peranto and Ian Scotto. This is the Battleline Podcast.
Episode 1, Battleline Podcast. We need a catchphrase or something, Chris.
It's got to come to us, though, dude.
Yeah.
We can't make it up. It's got to we do something stupid, and the catchphrase just comes.
I think you're right. It's like an inside joke. You can't just create it on the spot.
Well, that's what I tell when guys used to come down range or any other time I'm around somebody. You can't give yourself your own call sign. You can't call yourself Chainsaw or Train Killer or something. You can't. That's not how it works. The call sign has to find you. Just like if you crash a car too much, your call sign's crash. Or if you lose your radio, your call sign's radio. With me, mine is completely racist because I'm Indian. And I do believe you can say Indian, guys. You don't have to say Native American. I don't get offended from it. But that's how I got mine. Peranto, rhyme with Tonto. It was Tonto from Lone Ranger and Tonto because that's just how it's just how it is in the community. But I changed it to the A because if anybody speaks Spanish, if people that do speak Spanish out there, tonto, T-O-N-T-O, it means fool. And I kept getting tired of people calling me fool around bases in Afghanistan. So I put the A on it but that's where it comes. So it will, dude. We're going to find it. We'll do something stupid, me or you. Yeah. And that will be our catchphrase from here on out. Guaranteed.
That's interesting that you got into that because I always know that you said when people would somehow tie Benghazi, they were like, oh, these are a bunch of white guys. You would always go out there and you were like, I'm Mexican, bro.
And Boone, people don't know Boone. Boone's black. So it's not. But that's just how people are. People are. You assume already because you're in the military, and because maybe you're a Marine or a Ranger, and because that's how it is. We're all just white crackers out there. No, soy mexicano, man. That's just that's a stereotype, and it's a wrong stereotype to have. Now, granted, there's a lot of you crackers out there that are Rangers. I served with a lot of you guys from South Georgia. I know it, man, and North Georgia too, but. No, it's a mix, and you'd be I think people would be shocked, especially not at Ranger Battalion, but 101st. I think they have a whole company of Puerto Ricans over there, dude. There's also Puerto Ricans everywhere. Every drill sergeant I had was Puerto Rican.
Oh wow!
It just comes from it's a melting pot, and that's why it's funny when people. To me, it's funny, laughable, meaning ridiculously laughable. When people claim racism and this and that, because I was in a community in the military where you had different ethnicities, you had different religions, and you didn't care. Bullets don't care. They could care we can cuss, right? It's our podcast, right? Bullets give two shits what gender, what ethnicity, what color you are, and I didn't see it either until I actually started doing with the Benghazi and got out of everything, got out of the government. And started traveling, and then I got more into the media, which I'm getting back out of the mainstream media per se.
Sure,
that's when I started seeing races. Where when I say saw it, it was heard more. I didn't see it. I didn't see it any more than I did in the military. But where it became such a huge issue, it was because everybody's claiming racism for anything anymore, and it was to me it was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I remember Nick Irving even writing an article about, being called like the N-word at a bar. And he was like, the Rangers that served with me, like they were the first to beat the shit out of us.
Yeah, you did. We stick up for each other. Nick, Nick's short, but that's all I see. That's all I see. But
short.
No, Nick is the real deal. And I respect his service. Granted, those damn snipers always hiding. Come on, Nick, get in the line, dude. Don't you want to crash a building? You guys got to be hiding up now. They're the force multiplier. And with Nick, I don't see a black guy with Nick. I don't see an African American. I see a Ranger. Yeah. I see a fellow brother. And he'll tell you right off the bat. Same way. Even the guys from North Georgia. Somebody says that to Nick, and they're from Ranger Battalion. No, it's knuckles up with whoever's calling a Ranger, calling him the N-word. Yeah. And Nick's. Nick's a Ranger. Period. Nick is, and he's a bat boy. means he's from for all you, when I say Bat Boy from here on out, that means he served with the 75th. It means that he wasn't just Ranger qualified. That means he actually was there, just didn't have he had his tab and his scroll. We'll get into, we're going to do a whole nother episode on
heard that
the difference between the tab and the scroll too, but we don't got time here. But
I've heard it from guys like you and him where I'll, in my previous job where I'm like, oh, we're booking this Army Ranger on the show.
And I'll say, what battalion?
Yeah. And they'll be like, that guy's not a fucking
Is it 101st? No, he's Ranger qualified. He's not a real Ranger. And you guys have your tabs out there. Respect to you. Ranger school's hard. But come on, you know the deal too. 101st, I love you, Rockasans, 187, but brother, come on. And the guys that really respect battalion, they'll tell you. They'll say, yeah, I got my Ranger tab, but I'm not a real Ranger. I'm not to say real Ranger. I'm not a Ranger.
Yeah.
That's respectful. And when I meet a guy like that from 82nd, 101st, 25th, or a Cav unit, I'll be honest, like, God, I got a lot of respect for him. I know that he could probably handle himself if he had to, and he probably could have made it over the 75th, but there was something that hindered it because those guys, they're not insecure. They're tough, and they understand the respect that the hard work that goes into going to the 75th, which going through RASP when it used to be RIP, Ranger Inducted, there actually is something difficult you have to go through to get that beret, which it was black beret. Now it's a tan beret. Thanks, Shinsheki. I appreciate that.
That.
Yeah. That's when the standards started to go, psh, and it was something as simple as that, as a General Shinsheki giving the whole army a black beret. But we'll do it. There's third episode right there. We got 3 episodes.
Well, this will be a huge one because we have Andrei Arlovski coming on, UFC legend. He's going to be here in a little bit. But being that this is the first episode, I feel like this audience does know you, but maybe a quick introduction of who you are and what you're up to now, because there was a moment there where you couldn't turn on Fox News even, as we were saying, InfoWars without seeing Chris, or every time I was at the gym, the commercial for the sunglasses.
The sunglass commercial. I love those things. They're still the best shooting glass I ever had.
Yeah, and you've stepped away from that a little bit and are doing more speaking engagements and are a little bit more low profile by choice.
It was my choice. I got tired of being, and I felt like I was starting to be the pariah, the right pariah. I was the right wing. And hey, guys, I believe in the God. I believe in the Bible. I believe in Second Amendment and the First Amendment. I believe in the Constitution, but I'm not. That's not me. I still believe there's Republicans out there I don't like, and that have lied to my face directly. So I got tired of that. And it also, what that hindered for me as far as speaking goes is people that really needed to hear the story about Benghazi or hear about guys that were in combat, or to hear about those obstacles that they may have overcame, which is, we can actually go in the segue of the Patriots Creed with that, but the overcoming obstacles, becoming leaders, maintaining leadership, what leadership is, never giving up, never quitting. When I was that right-wing pariah, which I felt like I was being made, whether I was or not, that's what I felt. I don't believe the message was getting to people that really needed to hear it. It was just, this is Fox, this is what you're going to do. Now that I'm pulled away from that, because I'm not, that's not me. I'm not a right-wing pariah. There's people on both sides I dislike immensely and I don't care for. But the ones that weren't getting the story that needed to were the ones that didn't watch Fox. And me pulling away and saying, wait a second, guys. I feel that I'm getting used a little bit. I'm going to back away from it. Then I started speaking to just bigger groups of both sides. You're getting both political sides that are in the room to speak to, and they're getting a story of what Benghazi should have been about to begin with. That's our fault too. That's our fault. We went that route.
But I wouldn't say it's your fault so much as it's not like you came into this as a seasoned media guy.
Yeah.
You were an Army Ranger and a contractor, and overnight, whether you liked it or not, you became famous.
And that was me learning for the last 3 to 4 years of how to navigate the media and how to navigate just being I'm not a public figure. I hate being called that. But just managing my life in a public spotlight and saying, I do have some control here. Just because somebody tells me you got to be on Fox all the time for people to know you, I don't have to do that. And now I'm blessed I don't have to do that anymore.
It's probably good that you did, though, because you got your name out there and you spoke your truth, as you talked about. And at times it kind of ate up at you to have to do that all the time and have to relive
a lot of anger.
The scariest moment of your life time after
I wouldn't
time.
call it. I'll be honest. It was probably the funnest moment. It was. I'd go again in a heartbeat. Scared to me is it's just in general. Adrenaline is adrenaline. whether you utilize it and you get scared with it or you utilize it to fight with it, it's the same adrenaline. And when I do speaking events, that's the beauty of the speaking events is I'll talk to people about that and say, when you feel fear, don't look at it as fear. It's just adrenaline. How are you going to use that? It's a fight or flight response. And then you can go one of two ways. You can either shut down and let the fear overtake you, where you just turn out and you go in the black. And all you gun guys out there know Colonel Cooper's color codes. You go in the black, you shut down. Or you can utilize it the other route and go down and go in the orange or the yellow, which is where you kind of need to be. Or you can let it just completely go into the massive fight mode and go into the red, but you don't want to be in the red either because that's just too much. Now you're just pinging off the walls. So no, it helped because that's stuff I can talk to people about. It's not just Benghazi is Hillary Clinton's raw. She's awful. She's terrible. Okay, yeah, she is. But you know what? Fine. Everybody knows that. Or you don't want to believe. That's fine. I don't care either way.
And by the way, the people who have a problem with guys who have served, who have been there and done that in the media spotlight and saying, oh, why are they in the spotlight? If you guys weren't in the spotlight, then the people who are going to go out there and talk about issues are people who have no idea what they're talking about. They just read about it somewhere.
And there still kind of are. So, being able to do that and say to people, tell people that, this is why, it wasn't because we wanted to essentially, not in my opinion. Now, I can't speak for Oz and Tig and Boone. That you'd have to talk to them, or Jack. Jack. That people really don't know who Jack is still because his wife wears the pants in that family, and you're never going to know who Jack is because his wife doesn't want him to come out and tell you who he is. But speaking for myself, I just when you tell the truth and you want to get out there and tell the truth, I didn't want to affect an election per se. I just wanted people to know what happened. And again, if it was Donald Trump that would have done it to us, I'd go out and be speaking against him right now. Say, you know what? You left us behind. Then you lied about it. And I would be crushing his balls too. I would. No problem with that. So it just, is it right or wrong? And are politicians dirty? Well, people see that politicians are dirty. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. There's a few out there that I think still believe in integrity and do have the integrity and a moral courage to do the right things. But many of them, no, and the media shows that too. So, and that's why I said it. That's why I went. And I'm glad I'm able to speak because that's where we're headed now. Is with the speaking. It's not about politics. I don't care. It's the moral courage to be able to say the right thing, and then also honor Roan and Bub and Ambassador Stevens and Sean Smith who passed away because the focal point was really becoming us. It shouldn't be. We're not the heroes. The heroes are those four. Those are the four that gave their lives for us, and it did. It took a lot of AARs for me after the night's over to step back and like, wow, what am I doing? Is this really who I want to be in the morning when I wake up? And one day I did look in the mirror and I said, I don't want to be this person that I'm becoming, this crazy, angry, politically driven, where I'm on a political side. I don't want to be on a side anymore. I want to go back to being Tano, which Tano is Tano's side. I'm on my side. I'm not a right or left side. This is my side. This is what I'm going to be. And it'd be like me or not, whether you're right or left, I don't care. And it's kind of like a gut check too, because you're like, wait a second, this is who's been really supporting me. This has been paying the bills, the right wingers over here. Now I'm coming out and saying, you know what? I'm not going to take a side anymore. Well, guess what? There's my part of the income that's how I'm making a living.
Sure.
So it's a little scary, but as long as I'm right with God, and I felt it, hey, then that's the right thing to do.
Yeah,
and then you just let the chips fall where they may.
Absolutely. Yeah. I guess to give you guys listening some background on me, I'm Ian Scotto.
Ian, let me interview Ian.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that
Ian.
Yeah, go for it.
Ian, when I first met you, it was Andrew Wilkow show you were producing.
Sir. And I was actually technically engineering culture because Mike Binns is the producer.
Right. That's right, Mike.
I was producing. You want to talk about difference in politics? I was producing Senator Bill Bradley's show.
You go.
So,
well, give us some background before Wilkow, because I didn't even know this. A lot of that stuff. I even told you we're going to talk about this on the show. So you give me your back because there's stuff I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Hofstra University for radio. Then started working for Fangoria Radio on Sirius with D. Snyder.
Did you? You were D. Snyder.
I was
That
working with
is
D.
awesome. Twisted sister,
guy.
dude.
Yeah.
You were in Fangoria Radio?
Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
You were aware of Fangoria Radio? Okay.
Dude, I love the horror and all that, and Twisted, and Dee Snider and Twisted Sister. Dude, come on.
So you want to hear something funny?
That's high school for me.
If you guys listen to the intro, I still haven't confirmed this yet. If I leave this in the episode, then this is in fact the case. Debbie Rashan, who is the other voice on Fangoria Radio, I'm going to ask her to do the intro for our show.
Yeah, do it. Oh, wow.
If I leave this in the show, that's her voice you're hearing at the intro. And, of course, my friends in Jinx with their song Fails is the intro.
Yeah, we got that in, right?
Yes, that's going to be – I gave them – I asked them for permission, and they said you got it. And I think the message works. The attitude works. So check those guys out, JYNX. But yeah, I met Chris working on Andrew Wilkow's show at SiriusXM, and I just feel like we kind of hit it off right away. When you meet someone who's genuine, you know it, and we've stayed in touch all along. And you've been doing all these Facebook Lives, and I think you enjoy doing something where you could be genuinely you, and they're not trying to bring you on.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. For a soundbite on Fox News where you don't really get to say that much. And you and I were saying, like, why not have our own forum where you could speak in long form, talk to other great Americans doing interesting things for the country or interesting things in their lives, and do something that people will enjoy and inspire them. And that's why we came about and figured we would do this Battleline podcast.
And I'm glad you kept the name too. Guys, the Battleline means absolutely nothing. People ask me, why'd you put Battleline for your tactical company? Here's why I did it. Couldn't think of a name at all. Every cool domain name out there was at like Firebase Tactical and all the cool tactical names. You guys took them all out there. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So I was listening to the radio, and I for my workout music, I listen to Five Finger Death Punch and Slipknot and all that other, all that hate rock. I shouldn't call it hate rock. I love that stuff.
All that remains.
All that remains. All that remains. 2 weeks. Still one of my favorite songs. 2 weeks from Phil Labonte out there, and all that remains.
We got to get him on.
He'll be on. He'll be on, and we'll get him on. And I think, can he fit in this room now? I think he's just jacked, huge now.
Well, he's also like Nick Irving, very short but jacked.
Just jacked. We can't have them both in on the same. Well, Andre's going to fit in here. We could fit those two in at the same time. But I was listening. Five Finger Death Punch, Death Punches, Battleborn came on. And then there's a group that has a song called Frontline, which is they're called, I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. But they have a group Frontline, and so I just Battlefront. That sounds cool, Battleline. And I think I did do Battlefront at first, and I Googled it, and somebody had that domain. So I went, Battleline. Okay, that's it. And that's how it came about.
I think it's a great name. The tactical program's been extremely successful.
It has been done well. I actually had to slow down because I'm gone too much. It is.
That and speaking engagements, it's a lot.
Yeah. Speaking is awesome, especially now that I'm with Kepler Speakers Bureau out of D.C. The events they get me are the people that I'm around. That's why I know this country we're still, as much as you want to watch CNN or Fox or MSNBC, and they're going to tell you the world is going to, or America's going to hell in a handbasket. It's not, guys.
Or the people with the climate change, the earth is going to end in 10 years entirely.
Yeah, we are still the greatest country in the world, and we have still the greatest people in the world. And those events I have, because they're corporate, just seeing people from different everything, especially different politics, and them coming and coming together just to hear a story. And it is kind of a tragic story, but lessons learned about leadership from that, to me, just reaffirms to me that this is the greatest country in the world, still, from just the people in it. So guys, turn off the news every once in a while, except for our podcast. But we're not the news; we're entertainment, right? Are we entertainment?
And also I think we're going to interview people in the UFC world, in rock, in military. Who have great stories that are going to inspire people and realize that there are great people out there doing things that will uplift them. And
that's the difference between this one. That's why we're doing it.
And as you said, we'll even get into spirituality. We'll get into all different things that other podcasts are not really covering.
And that's a shame, because they need to. This country, and again, spirituality. I don't care. Good Christian. I am a Christian. But I'll tell you right now, as a good Christian, I'm not going to tell you have to believe in Christianity. But I will tell you this. You need to believe in something. There is something out there. And I fought alongside Islamic, not Islamic militants, guys. That's Islamists. Now we're getting into terrorists. I've never done that before. But I fought alongside Muslims and Hindus. And it doesn't matter. we all care. When I said bullets don't see the difference in the religion, we just cared about each other. And so all I'm going to tell you is if you just have faith in something, and it can be faith in a tree. I don't care. I mean, what's the imps in, what is it, Lord of the Rings? See, that's the amount of geek I am. I love Lord of the Rings. Have faith in a tree imp. I don't care. I hope they're real. Maybe they are out there. Doesn't matter. There's something bigger than you out there, and that's where we're going to go different. A little bit different. We say that, right? We're not just lip serving this.
No, I think that we're going to be willing to have all different people on because it is true. There's all these, I mean, everything actually is very secular now where it's like you can't have someone on to talk about Christianity. You can't. And why not? I think we should be open to having anyone on that we think is of interest to people, is going to uplift people. Hell yeah. So the other thing I was going to say about the name Battleline, since you were talking about the origin of it.
I'm listening to you, dude.
I know. We got Andre coming in just a little bit. So, is just the fact that Chris actually, I think it just speaks to him, is that he's not a guy with a giant ego who's like, this needs to be the Chris Peranto show, because it's a collaborative effort.
It is not. I don't want that.
Yeah, we wanted a name that was actually kind of neutral but badass.
Bro,
that,
I don't even know why you even wanted to use. That's
I like Battleline.
See, and that's why I'm cool with it too.
And I think it's your brand. It's built up, but I do prefer having a name like that as opposed to the Chris Peranto show, because it's going to be about the people who are on just as much as you or me.
I believe me. I hate that. I can't stand. I can't even watch myself on TV. You're like, gosh, I wouldn't buy sunglasses from that idiot right there. Gosh, what's he doing? Or I still have never watched an interview. I watched. Wait, I take it back. I did watch the very first interview I did with Brett Baer.
Okay.
But other than that, I have never watched it because I just look at myself going, God, I look like such a jackass. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
I've listened to myself way too many times because I'm always the one editing the podcast.
You definitely have a good voice, dude.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
you sound like Barry White.
You always say that.
Dude, I'm telling you, you've got that low baritone voice. I got the nasally voice.
That is what got me into it, though, is I remember I was working, prior to all this, I was working at Tower Records as like an 19-year-old kid. And I was trying to figure out what the heck do I want to do with my life. And people would come in, buy albums, get in a conversation with me. And all the time they were like, you have a really good voice, man. You should do radio. You should do voiceover. And, I was used to like my mom saying that. But when your mom says it, it doesn't mean anything. But when it's complete strangers, I was like, all right, maybe this is something I'll pursue. And Hofstra, a great radio program. Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking about like 2005 here, so I've been doing it ever since then.
Right. You're a pro. I wouldn't have done it if anybody else would have asked me. I wouldn't have done this.
It means the world to me, man.
And you from just the first 10 minutes, I don't know what the hell I'm doing over here anyway, except being. I said, Ian, you could take care of everything. Just let me talk because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I think people like that though. Is that you're not one of these guys who comes in here super polished with an agenda of. You're just being you. You're a regular dude, and I think that's what people are going to like. And I would like to think I am as well. So I think that's what people.
You're pretty regular, dude. You got a little bit more jacked since you first started. You've been hitting the gym.
Got a personal trainer certification since I quit my last job.
That's right. So if this all fails, me and Ian are going to start our own training business here.
Well, we got to talk. We'll definitely talk fitness on here. I think. Well, I mean, even your wife is into fitness.
No, fitness is spiritual to me and my wife especially. Guys, and for those of y'all who don't know, my wife. Beautiful. She is in such great shape. And this just tells you how dedicated she was an All-American volleyball player, played at University of Nebraska at Omaha, and that's where I met her. And that's beautiful, too, because those that play volleyball, you don't even tell me, guys, you've never looked at the spanky pants when the women are playing volleyball because they jump.
Even Spencer's not exactly.
They jump all the time, always jumping. So they build those leg muscles and those maximus gluteus. And my wife has not lost it yet. But that's not where I'm going. And my wife's going to kill me for saying this.
Hey, that's a compliment.
It is. That's what I hope not. But she's bigger than me too. She's also like taller than me. So, and that's also for a volleyball player. They're tall, but. Right when I graduated from Ranger School, I went through in the winter. I graduated in Ranger School. I was class 02001, but I graduated actually a week before Christmas. So it was graduated December 2000. Emaciated. I mean, I'm 130 pounds. I haven't slept. I am. And the next morning, I graduated from Ranger School. She comes to the graduation, and She wakes me up at 6 a.m. in the morning and drags my ass to the gym. So we're going to the gym. I said, are you kidding me? I just got back from range. I'm tired. No, get up. We're going to the gym. She drug my ass to the gym the next day after I graduated from Ranger School. And that I actually got on the bike, and all I could do just to even save it, because I look good. Believe me, I was shredded. I had veins from my neck down to my pelvis, but
you're like pointing down.
But no, you are in such bad shape. I couldn't even ride the bike for like maybe 2 miles on that little recumbent bike. But that just shows how dedicated and how she pushes me. I mean,
did you have to eat? Because I have this. Did you have to eat kind of like crap in order to bulk up a little bit?
No,
because
actually,
I'm naturally thin, you know. So the whole idea of you need to eat clean all the time. If you're someone who has been, you know, skinny as like a younger kid, you do have to eat some cheeseburgers and some burritos.
I'll tell guys this too. Unless you're going for a competition, you do need to put some fat on you every once in a while. If you're a runner, I still run. I'm a spiritual runner. I still put at least 40 miles in a week, if not more, running. You have to eat fat or your body you'll get injured. That's where injuries take place. Those guys that are super shredded or been dieting, first of all, if you're doing a photo shoot, don't let any one of those dudes tell you that they don't diet before that photo shoot. Then you can touch the pictures up too. You can. Been there, guys.
Get your picture.
I know you can, because I've been. Thank you, Barry Morgenstein. Thank you for that. But you have to. But if you are actually an athlete or you're training constantly, CrossFit, whatever, or you're a runner, you have to eat bacon every once in a while. You've got to eat that cheeseburger every once in a while. You need a candy bar. You've got to have that fat, because if not, your body, it's got to feed on something. Then it'll start to feed on your muscle, and then you start to break down. And actually, that's when injuries occur. So don't think for a second that you can't eat a piece of bread if you're working out. Yeah, you got to. Those are the ones that are really dieting hardcore, to me, are not putting enough time into whatever their workout's going to be in the gym. If you're not seeing the results you want to see, then you got to try a different workout.
Yeah.
You're exactly right, brother. Yeah. Do you think I'm going to go have a cheeseburger and we're done with it?
Yeah. So you've heard it here. Chris is not keto, and you've seen his picture.
No, never. No.
But anyway, we got Andre Arlovski coming in any second.
Is he here?
So
do we need to go grab him? Or
he may be on his way in. Is Spencer saying he's here, or because we're recording? Okay, Spencer's seeing if he's here. But anyway, we're in New York City because he's about to, in just a few days, fight at UFC 244 against big boy Jairzinho Rozenstruik. I believe I'm saying that right.
How do you even? I can't even.
I listened to see how they were announcing the UFC. But yeah, by the time you hear this, that fight will have already happened. So we're interviewing him before then.
Yeah.
And, hopefully he's going to kick some ass. I mean, we'll get into it, but the guy's been fighting for 20 years and is still doing it somehow.
I don't know how the hell he's still fighting. And he still enjoys it. I think I've talked to Andre. Andre and I became, we'll chat more about that.
Yeah, we'll get into it with him. So we're going to bring him in right now.
There's uncomfortable silence. I feel awkward right now.
Well, I'm about to do my intro.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. I mean, I can't intro if you're laughing during the intro. Or I might have to leave that in there. All right.
It's Andre's fault, dude. Right. I told you.
All right, let's do this. As promised, joining us in studio, UFC legend Andrei Arlovski, the Pitbull. You're here getting ready for UFC 244 against big boy Jairzinho Rozenstruik.
You've been
not
fighting
the
for
easiest name to pronounce.
30-some years, haven't you?
Not
you've been UFC at least 47
nope.
years?
Nope.
over 20, though, at this point, right?
Fuck no, come on.
Seriously?
Read Wikipedia or something.
Okay, hold on. Wikipedia.
First fight in UFC was November 16, 2000. Atlantic City, Taj Mahal. It was UFC 28.
Okay, so we're off a year. It's been 19 years.
But I'm even thinking prior to UFC. I mean, you were fighting.
Like in general, total like 20 years. Debut was 1999, October 6th.
Wow.
Anybody that doesn't know, just so me and Andre's banter, we've actually been friends for. I don't like to tell that to people because he's so damn ugly. No, you dude, you're good looking, man. You're good looking. No, he's a good dude. Him and I have been actually, I would say, pretty close for not being able to see each other a lot, but you're going to hear us. So just don't worry about my safety. He's not going to squish me now, maybe later, but we will banter a lot. So, and Andre's a solid dude. And he actually, we got some alligator photos too. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Okay, I'm sorry, Ian. Go ahead with the intro again.
No, that's the intro. Let's get right into everything. I feel like, we're getting into the origins of the MMA career. I mean, very early in the game. And how did you get started in the MMA world?
Back in 1999, I won World Cup in Sambo wrestling, and Belarusian government gave me $50. I remember I put my own $3, and I bought first pager. It was Motorola, I believe, yeah. And
you had I remember we had pagers.
Yeah, it was super. I was super cool, you know.
I had a pager too. I remember Ranger Battalion, first pager. That was how you got notified to come back on base if we ever had to go to war.
Yeah, and I met some guys. Yeah, they brought at that time they brought boxers and kickboxers in the United States. They pay me $50 per month. So for me, it was big money, and I decided why not.
Dude, that's still big money to me. In fact, where's my $50 for being on the show?
Easy guy.
No, I didn't even know that, dude. That's cool. I never talked to you about that. That's neat to see how you got over here and watch.
And I decided, do I want to be a police officer or maybe try to be lucky like in the United States? I choose to come here, and I think I hit jackpot, you know. So 19 years later,
dude, you're still kicking ass out there. I know. I am gonna get to a fight. I know. I've been saying that for 4 years. I got to go home for Halloween though. My 4-year-old needs me.
Halloween on Thursday, fight on Saturday.
Dude, what do I look like, man?
Just asking.
I mean, it's a big fight too. Nate Diaz main event.
It's a great card. I'll be honest with you. First of all, when I find out I'm gonna fight here in New York and Madison Square Garden, it's a lot of fights. It's a legendary place, and fuck yeah.
Is this your first time fighting at MSG?
Yes. I'm like Nike. Just do it. Yeah.
Is your wife okay? Or does she come with you?
She's coming, I believe, Friday.
Oh, cool. That's one thing in traveling and family, man.
No, but no. She came to support me. I'm not gonna see her till fight's gonna be over. So,
but at least when you know that she's that makes a lot, man. Yeah. How long you been married? And you've been asked a lot.
Together I met her back in 2009. He used to study here in New York. We had like 1 year long relationship. I was in Chicago. She was here. So in 2010 I brought her to Chicago, and in 2013 we moved to Florida.
That means a lot, man. It does with the family, and then also you get to be in the sun. Can you talk to my wife, please? I want to move to Florida. I'm tired of being
please. I need like someone like who I can hang out and like.
We can go shoot, dude.
Shooting range, like have some whiskey, you know.
Dude, if this podcast blows up and we could move to Florida, I'm in.
Dude, I've been trying to. I just can't. I can't get my 15-year-old runs the house. I can't get him to. He's like, no, Dad, I want to stay here. I said, where do you want to stay in the cold? Let's go to Florida, man.
It's nice.
It is. It's
I like cold, but listen, Florida much better.
Okay, as soon as you come to a Battleline training, then I'm coming to it, and we'll you know that's. I'll get down to
promise
Homestead
right
again.
now. Promise.
I promise. Well, I'm trying to get back to Homestead, man. I'm trying. I had to get back down there. We'll go shooting, and you can show me how to shoot. What?
Okay.
So here's one thing I was wondering. When you're in Florida, you must have a very regimented training schedule of like, this is what I do day to day. What's it like when you come to New York? Do you have a certain gym that you go to where you know people and you're training, getting ready for this big
all
fight?
Hard work done. So we just came here. UFC set up some training room at the hotel. So just 40 minutes, 1 hour top. That's it.
And be ready to go.
Yeah.
So it's like getting ready for a big game. Practice. But practice
repetition,
is over.
repetition.
Yeah.
Just break a sweat like Nike. Just do it.
After 20 years of doing it, though, do things change of how you get prepared?
Now I have to choose. For example, like tonight, glass of wine with Mr. Tanto. Just go to sleep, because I'm not 20 years anymore, unfortunately. So I have to choose what's more important for me at this point.
When you're young, man, you could go. I used to do that to my guys. Get drunk. Let's go drink.
Party,
let's go drink. Yep.
Next day, it's like nothing happened.
Can't do it now.
Now, 3-4 days you have to recover. So
when I hear about John Jones, it's like legendary of this guy going out, getting wasted, and then winning every fight.
There's some guys that's their. How old is he?
have no idea. But
I think John Jones is like 30. He's a little bit
See,
younger than
you-
me.
not 30. He's more than 30. But
Well, I'm a lot older than
well, first of all, he's very talented, no doubt about. But sometimes he doesn't act like smart person.
Oh, yeah.
He did some dumb shit, but he's still good.
When you get older, I can't even handle. I can't handle any.
Yeah, 32 as Raph said. So.
32. Holy shit, I'm 48, dude. You're talking about guy. When I was 32, yeah, I could do that, and that's how I would haze my guys at battalion, my team. We would get because I can run drunk. I'm a great runner, and I would get drunk, and then I'd say, "Okay, guys, let's go run," and that's how they'd make them quit or not. But no, I can't. I'm the same as you, bro. I have one whiskey now, and I'm bedtime. My wife hates it. I tell you that much. She's like, "Hey, let's go out to dinner." No, let's just stay in. I want to watch a movie. Okay, let's go to bed. All right. No, I mean sleep. Let's just go to bed. My wife's gonna hate this whole podcast. Yeah.
So, like, what time do you have a time that you go to sleep, time that you wake up when you're getting ready for a big fight?
No, now I'm kind of try to go to sleep around midnight, 11 o'clock, and wake up like 9, 10. Yeah.
See, I'm not saying you're old.
I'm on schedule. Yeah.
You're not old. I don't even want to know how old you are. I don't even look at the bio, dude.
Unfortunately, not 32 like Jones.
No, bro, you've been. What would admire about you a lot, just your humbleness. Unlike me, that very much. You're very quiet, very humble, and that's what drew me to the beginning when we first met. It was like, man, he's the nicest guy in the world.
First you signed card for me. It's my friend
there was
from Albuquerque, Mr. Walter, brought for me.
And that was at SHOT Show.
Next year I was in SHOT Show, and since that I bother you all the time. Yeah.
Every time. And did you get the Maxim PDX? You get one of those guns yet? The toolbox
Nope.
That's right, Mike. What the heck? We need to get on. No, I'm telling him right now.
No, it's okay. No.
You know what? I haven't even talked to him in like 3 months. I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably meet him in January. So
You will definitely.
yeah.
I don't even know if I'm going
Why not?
because he hasn't told me yet. Again, the Maxim Defense been with these guys forever. I don't know. Again, I love them to death, but honestly, SHOT Show. It's not fun for me. SHOT Show is not fun.
Oh, for me, it's big time.
It's because
I
I can't walk around. I can't do any. And I love the people there. They're so nice, but it's just overwhelming. And so I get it. I get people that enjoy it. I kind of understand. Because when you go to UFC, everybody knows who you are. But it's not. That's not me. I don't want the attention. I just want to go back to my room and just
have
relax.
whiskey with Arlovski.
Just call me a little. I'm just being a little bitch.
I mean, I think the difference, though, is just like you live that tactical lifestyle 24/7. I mean, it's what you do.
Yeah.
For him, this is like a getaway from the fighting world of another hobby of shooting.
But that's me coming to a fight though.
Okay,
Nobody, that's cool for me because nobody knows who the hell I am. It's awesome. But SHOT Show,
They would know who you are. If you're at a UFC fight, they're going to know.
But then SHOT Show it's work. It feels
your
like
work,
work.
yeah.
It feels like work, and that's what I don't like. And there's some people around there that that's very insecure. It's not people I would generally hang out with all the time. There's some great people there, but without trying to ostracize my whole following here, saying SHOT Show doesn't suck, but it's not fun, and it takes me away from the family, which I want to be home with the family.
Yeah.
And Vegas is not. I'm through. I'm over Vegas. Vegas is cool for what it is, but I've been there.
Couple of days. Yeah.
Yeah. Couple
Agree.
of days, bro.
So did you get into the shooting thing when you came to America? Was that always a hobby of yours?
No, when I was police officer, we shoot like maybe once a week. They just gave us 3 ammo to make a test. Make sure you're gonna hit 3 times 10. So
Qualification. Sounds like some of our police departments.
Yeah.
Here's a mag. Go make sure you can hit the target
Not
from 3
mag,
feet
3,
away.
only 3 bullets.
3 bullets.
Yeah, not even like 8, 3.
Holy.
And I came here. I met some guy. He from Israel. He was security when what's his name? Secretary of State back in 2000.
We worked with Israelis. I know if I said it because you've even said it to me once.
I'm
Googling it.
And he like said, "Oh, let's." I said, "Yeah." I went with him a couple of times on the range. I kind of like it, and now, yeah.
Who was the president at the time? What year was it?
I
don't even remember. I know you're talking because we.
Paul. Was it?
What was Colin Powell?
Yeah.
Was he sex-safe or sex-deaf?
Secretary of Defense.
Shows how much I know about politics.
Yeah, you're putting us all on the spot
and
here,
I
but-
even work for these dang
Yeah,
organizations. I don't even know who the hell they are half the time.
So that's how you guys made the connection.
It just
though.
it was guns.
No.
At SHOT Show.
SHOT Show guys who sell me Amos in Albuquerque. He went to SHOT Show and he met
And
Mr. Tanto. He signed something for me.
Still.
And like, by the way, like I'm a big fan of you before you, like I met you, and what you did, like it's I watched 13 hours probably like 30 times already.
That's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
It's
I all the time send you pictures when you're dancing, etc., etc. So yeah.
Well, you know what's funny is I've heard a lot of people say they thought Pablo did a great job of portraying Chris.
He did,
and
spot
that
on.
people who do know Chris say like, this guy, he got it completely. Did you feel that way when you watched
Pablo
it?
did an excellent job, man. He was fantastic. I mean, but you just know me personally. You know I'm a smart ass, but also try to be respectful when I can be. Yeah, try to. You know, I have a problem sometimes.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
how'd you feel when you watched it and then met him?
You know what? I was kind of like fucked up because I knew Mr. Tanta and I met him and boom came to me and said,
Yeah.
and I said like an idiot, said I didn't recognize him, you know, because like in my head it was like faces from the movie, you know. And Chris told me oh fuck, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry. And
you say whatever you want. It's Tana's fucking show.
It was fun, you know. I start follow, like I try to like attend the seminars when they teaching, but something it's never happened. I wasn't like in a camp or something or fighting, like, you know, just maybe one day.
I think he was shocked that I was so much better looking than Pablo when he first saw me. That was the shock. I was like, oh my God, you're just like that glow. He's like, but you know, he got over that, dude. And what I want to know, you know, we talk about firearms. What are you carrying? Did that Glock holster fit you? And is that what you're carrying right now? Is that when you can? Not that you can't. He can't in New York. Okay, we got it. He's not carrying. He can't carry in New York.
Of course not.
But
I have something different.
I don't even. You got your Fist of Fury, dude.
Tactical pen.
Don't. It's all secret.
Yeah.
But tell me, what is it? Because I know a lot of people. What's your weapon of choice?
It depends what day of the week. Monday one, Tuesday different one. Third one.
Do you carry? So you got all different type. I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Could you at least give us some of your favorites?
Don't tell me Glock is your favorite. Even though I sent you a holster for it.
I like Glock, but
okay.
my favorite things are on CZ.
They're good.
Fan.
CZ, guys, SIG's good. I have a 365. I like carrying that. It's good conceal, but CZ's spot. You got two. But then I also have to give props because STI. Actually,
I don't have the Daniel Defense yet.
I am not a big fan of Daniel Defense.
That's
No.
right.
I would. If you want to, I'm not going to say that I would take you from Daniel Defense, but I would recommend. No, I'm not a big Daniel Defense fan guy.
Okay.
So they got the name, you know,
Because of you.
Not because of me, because they know I've never really supported them. But if you want to carry Daniel Defense, go ahead until the gas reg system breaks on you, then or the bolt. But it's okay. You can carry it if you want. But CZ's spot on. STI makes great gun. But nowadays, guys, more people, it's more for really building your own gun. Instead of just going and getting an AR, build it. I mean, that's the best because some people make better butt stock, some people make better uppers, some people make better lowers. Putting it, building together, making it your own is honestly the best way to do it now than just going and buying a stock.
But
gun.
I can't.
You lie. Why can't you?
I can build. I just
Not just build it. Just put
I
parts.
ask a guy who like built all the time to help me, and he like said, tell me all the time, "No, tomorrow, call me like day after," and just like never happened.
I know. I screwed you over with the PDX because they didn't get back here. But I do have James Zampier out there. He's a builds gun in Arizona for me. I'll have him put you in touch with him. And if he screws you over, then you just tell Tom every time I tell you I'm going to help you, you can tell me to F off because I'll be 0 for 2. I'll go for 3. But I definitely, because and we do. I want to get and shoot because we've been trying to schedule something. I mean, to come for both 3 years. So definitely, I want to see what you're. We will definitely video that. See,
okay, you will be surprised.
People dig that.
I would dig that, and it'd be fantastic, bro. I got you, and we've been talking about, and actually one of the things I remember with your pit bull, dude, Maximus?
Maximus,
yeah. because of the show, I do want to talk about, because I'm dogfighting's awful. So if you could go into that a little bit, maybe just is there any organizations or talk about a little bit? I know why you got Maximus. You know,
definitely. I'm against dogfighting. There's no doubt about. And I had a great beat. I put him sleep, put him down. That was January 12th, 2017.
I remember that because that was before a fight.
2 weeks before my fight. So this guy, he was with me everywhere. My fans sent me to puppies when I gave to my jiu-jitsu coach, Dina Costes. Maximus I kept for myself, and he was a great fucking dog. No doubt about dogs. It's and then my son's asking me all the time, "Oh, Dad, let's take a dog." No,
so do you have? How many do you have now?
I don't want to talk anymore. I was so touched to him. I cry like a baby.
I remember I texted. I remember I texted because I heard. I heard through the grapevine when I had all that social media, and somebody said, and I remember I hit you up because it's a big deal, especially because you had him for a while, and
I had him for 11 years. Yeah.
Was he? Did you? I can't remember. Did you find him when he was actually fighting? Did you save him from fighting?
No. Okay, I was involved in some organization against the dog fighting, but it's my fans sent me to puppies.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
How did you get involved in that, by the way, the combating dog fighting stuff, going against it?
They contact my management team, and I did some posts. I attend some seminars, I guess, and that's it. I just gave some shit to that weak football player guy.
Mike Vick.
Mike Vick, yeah.
When all that was going on,
There's a really known tattoo artist, Brandon Bond, who's very into the pit bull community, and I think he's actually been at SHOT Show. He's a guy into firearms as well, and he rescued some of those pit bulls from Michael Vick, and talked about how they're great dogs. It's just the owners that are fucked up.
It's always the owner. We screw up everything, don't we? It's always not that me, but. I'm great.
I know humans.
Humans. That's hard, man. I did want to. I know it's on the notes, but I did want to ask you about that because I didn't know.
I kind of feel better, but back in 2 years ago, it sucks for me.
Well, don't think about it anymore.
No,
I'm sorry. I know I brought it up. Don't think about it anymore, and just
of course.
Look at my good-looking face, and it'll smile.
No, I know it's something that you're passionate about, so I wanted to put that down. But anything in particular with prepping for this fight that stands out to you? I mean, this is a big one, as we said, 19 to 20 years in the game. What are you doing to get ready?
Well, first of all, train hard. I'm pretty much the first person who came to the gym and probably the last one who's leaving, just still whooping some young fighters' asses, and I'm going to face another tough fighter. He undefeated MMA, great kickboxing record. He was a champion somewhere, but he's dirty motherfucker. He was when he fought in Japan. He put grease on his body, and
oh shit.
Yeah, so he's dirty. Just promise I will do everything possible to whoop his ass. That's it. Simple.
I think tell people even whether you're a UFC fighter and you're doing it for such a long time. And a lot of the followings, and I talk about that in the books that I have too. But I want how mindset is what you physically be ready, but your mind is going. Your mind is going to give up before your body ever does.
Yep.
And how I know people want to hear that. Not just from they hear stories of us of the Rangers and SEALs, but just in the everyday life and UFC fighter as well. How that your body's in pain, and maybe even give me a specific. I want to know a specific fight where your body was in pain and you willed yourself to win, man.
First of all, I really don't pay attention what's hurting because it's temporary, But
and again, that's a mind. That's what's awesome.
But I mentioned my fans sent me to puppies when I gave to my jiu-jitsu coach Dina Costes, and once he told me, discipline is remembering what you want.
Yeah.
Trust me, every fucking day when I wake up, during the camp, I know why I fucking started this, why I'm continuing to do this shit, for what. So, of course, I'm selfish. I'm doing for myself. I want to be, I'll try to do everything possible to be a champion again.
But you still want it. That's what.
Fuck yeah, I still have fire in my eyes. Plus, I have wife. I need some money, And I have two little guys my sons. I'm doing this shit for them.
Every day it is.
Yep.
That's what I love is that you get up and your mind is there and you want it, and that's why you do it. If you didn't enjoy it,
No,
you wouldn't
no.
do it
Now
anymore.
it's just I'm in good hands.
No.
Like great coaches, you know, just like I'm in a good hands.
Motivation is the
And
key
my
to
wife
it.
is most important. My wife supports me, you know. So
And that's a benefit. Ian and I were talking about this. You know, I had some rough patch when I was talking, and you knew. Honestly, sorry about that, guys. You even knew that we weren't even talking about her. She didn't need to be talked about. But I didn't have my wife in my life, and you realize how you think you're the toughest dude in the world. You are, but if you don't have that support,
one
yes.
word of some like look, you know, it's just make you ruin
Yes.
all your fucking day, you know, like all you how do I say all your.
It gives you that base, that motivation to push, and that's why I try to tell to anybody that's going through hard times, whether it be veterans, whether it be athletes, because I was very blessed to be able to play football. I was athletic, that's why I paid for college. But anyone that it's not you, dude. It's that person that pushes you through it.
Yeah.
And when you're married, oh man, guys that go through hard times, I ask, are you married or divorced? Well, I'm divorced, or I'm separated. Well. Yeah. That's probably it, all right? But you can figure it out for yourself. But so that's awesome. I like hearing it because that's motivating to me, and that just pushes people that are listening, hopefully out there, look at themselves like, man, am I really as badass as I thought I was at that? I wonder why I'm going through this. Well, look to your left and your right. Are those people that were there for you in the beginning? Are they there for you now? Mm-hmm. And that's if you say no, that's probably why, badass. You're not as badass as you think. Go get back with that person that you're supposed to be. Yeah, that's all. And your kids, I want to ask them because I really don't. I'm pretty protective of my kids. You'll never see pictures of their faces. But if you don't want me asking, I'll tell you how mine are. Mine are 15, 11, and then I have a 4-year-old Peanut, and that little boy, he's like his dad. He runs around pulling on his little pee-pee. He does. But how he does? He's such your father. He's such your son. He walks around just doing this. I don't even know where he got it from. Obviously. But how old are your boys? And then
my oldest one's 7, and the youngest one he's like 16 months. Yeah,
60. He's that little. Yeah, so he's gonna be running around pulling on his will be soon. A big pee-pee. My son. I'm sorry, Peanut. It's your dad. I can't do nothing about it. But yeah, your oldest one. Those pictures, because that means everything. Going out and going gator hunting. Yeah. That is experiences that I'm glad you get to enjoy.
Listen, I try to do everything possible for him, like what my dad didn't do to me. So that's why I try to be a great father, Yeah. And I don't know how to be. I just had a feeling I have to do this, that. So it's like only like feelings,
Well, that's
time will show. Am I was right or wrong?
I'm sure you'll be right. Do you want to be? And you've probably been asked this before, but I'm curious because people ask me this question about my son. Do you want him to be a UFC fighter?
Fuck no.
That's when people ask me, do you want my? Don't tell me, and I'll tell you my story too.
I can explain why. I think the kids right now they're not like tough like you are, like me, myself. They're just different generation. It is. Like I'm not sure that he can go through like what I went through. Like so.
But also growing up in the former Soviet Union, I mean, I think things like that would make you tough.
Spetsnaz dudes are tough, dude. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I respect for their military, for the special.
He wants to play football. He likes baseball. I don't understand. I don't know anything about baseball. But listen, if you like it, please taekwondo, please, but no fighting.
No fighting. Sure. Baseball would be. It's my
baseball. Yeah, I would love to. I met some guy and I read some news how much they make. So fuck yeah.
You get to be in the springtime out in these coliseums, just standing out in the center field, smelling the grass, and that's what people ask me. You want your son to be a ranger? I said no. Here's a golf club. No, go. I want him to go play golf. Yeah. But also. Thing is, I think same as you is we also know that's the thing. My parents, I feel bad for them now because I probably put them through hell with them worrying for a lot of times, but they didn't really know what I was doing. I know of my son, so I know what could happen because I know that, and I think that's part of this. So you know what it feels like to get punched in the face and have your nose broken. You don't want your son to feel like that.
3 weeks ago, he had first taekwondo tournament. He took 2 golds, 1 bronze, and 2 bronze medals.
Wow.
I didn't sleep first of all whole night before the tournament. Like I'm fighting. And next day, when he took silver and 2 bronzes, he gave me like, shit, what the fuck, Dad? You promised me like I'm gonna get all gold. I said, baby, like it's good for you at 7 age. My first medal was when I was 16.
I know.
No, I wanna throw those fucking in the garbage. Said, baby, come on. He started like acting like.
Yeah, I know.
So I didn't talk with him like 4 hours. He said, okay, Dad, I'm sorry. I said, fuck, baby, I told you, you're gonna take gold like it was like kicking and sparring, no doubt about it. Weapons and forms, you're not that good yet because you have to fucking practice.
And you have to practice. That's hard.
Of course,
that's,
practice repetition, and now we're good. Yeah.
So that's the kids. My son is the same. He's 15. He's already taller than me. He's a better athlete. His mom was an All-American volleyball player. He's got great genes, but God, work ethic, bro. He's a freshman. He plays some varsity. You know, he is a freshman in high school, which is pretty good. But I'm like, here, I want to push him, but then again, I was like, God, do I want to push him that much? He could even be better because he's got the genes to be better. But it's that work ethic, and I try to do that with him. Not like my dad. My dad could just tell me, get your go.
Yeah.
It's hard to do
please,
that.
Maybe after. Just you have to. My wife tied with my sons and me, and I'm just like, like. He came to me like, Daddy, and I thought, what do you want, baby? You want ice cream, please? And it's like, I hate myself for this shit, but yeah.
But it is. I'm sorry, you can go ahead.
No, has he come out to any of the fights? Because when I've seen...
when I invited Mr. Chris, by the way, to for my fight in Florida, he didn't show up, and my son, he punched someone in school. He was grounded, but yeah. But I promise him next time.
So he has.
When I'm gonna fight for the title, you're gonna be with your mom.
Because I'm just wondering. I mean, I've seen it just as a spectator. Sometimes when the son is watching his dad get punched in the face or something,
saw
it's
my
like
fights.
it's traumatic.
I didn't show him, but he saw my fights probably on YouTube because he has like all the friends and probably yeah.
I mean, YouTube I feel like is a little different.
Once in a while,
though.
I gave him my phone. He might go on YouTube, Hopefully he doesn't look at redtube.com. So.
What are you talking about? What?
I was going to say YouTube though.
RedTube.
I have no idea what redtube.com. No clue. This is a family show. What are we talking about?
But anyways, I was going to say watching it on YouTube is a little different though because like he knows the outcome. He knows Dad is okay. I mean, I would think if you're there live, it's got to be kind of weird. Like is Dad going to come home tonight? Is he going to be all right?
For me, was kind of wake-up call when, before my last fight against Ben Rosswell in San Antonio, I lost, I think, 3 fights, but I was robbed. Not that's only my opinion, but anyway, I lost 3 fights, and my son came to me before my trip to San Antonio. He told me, hey, Dad, I hope you're gonna win. And I said, fuck, what the fuck? My son not even believe in me. Yes. For me, it was like so painful. I got tears in my eyes, and it was hard for me. I was so emotional.
Did you talk to him after though to see what because maybe he just didn't know. Maybe he didn't know.
No, maybe he's like Listen, first of all, he probably meant something else. But in my head, it's what the fuck? Like I was already like in the corner, just nowhere to go.
That's hard, bro.
And when I came back home, he told me that I asked God about help. So yes. Thank you, baby. So I give him a hug. I got tears. So it was like very touchable for me.
See, that's why you need to get married and have kids. It's just tell you, you got to
get married and having kids.
Okay, then just have it. But it does it does change it. My son. The coolest thing to me was, and my son. I don't think he saw me that when on his phone. I hate that social media in this phone, but he has a phone. The screensaver is 13 hours. It's Pablo in the poster of me getting blown up. And then
I love that movie. I told you, fuck, it's great.
To me, that means that even though he doesn't think he cares
he
for his
mean,
dad,
but
he admires his dad.
Of course, yeah.
You want to be admired as a father, and when I saw that, I was like, I didn't say anything, but it did. It touched my heart. I'm like, gosh, my son actually does admire his father, and as a father, I think that's what you strive for when you have a son. You want to be that person that he admires, and you want to be, but you always want your son to be better than you. That's why I don't want him.
100%. That's why I want him to play hockey.
That's
basic. Or be an investor or something, make some money.
Hockey could be pretty brutal too, though. So
But not, listen, it's team.
But
team.
you get pads.
Yeah,
man.
of
You get
course.
pads.
But fighting, it's like.
You know, I was.
Don't ask me wrong. I'm sorry, Mr. Tante. If he decide to be a fighter, fuck yeah, I'm gonna help him.
Yeah,
Like
of
I
course.
give him all my knowledge. Like try to support him, but hopefully not.
And I said, I love my son to I would be proud as hell if either son became Army Rangers, but gosh, man, as soon as I know how to feel in my gut as soon as I send him off the base, kind of like, oh, yeah. And I know, I know he's with the best of the best, but I will worry every day.
Of course.
Because it's tough. It's tough. But that's what you do. You always raise your children because you want them to be better than you are.
Yeah.
And I'm still striving to be like my father. I think my father is my role model. I don't know if you I had a good relationship with my family. Now I know we don't even need to get into that, but with me, as a son, I think you always are still trying to strive. It's like your son will be. He's always striving to be like his dad. And I think that's where the family comes in, and that's how I am always with my dad. But I'm still not as even close to being what my father is. And I was luckily raised well, and I had a strong mom, little Mexican mom, just beat my ass all the time. It's discipline, man. This discipline. So yeah, I did. You're actually
people
you're
now
make
very
me cry.
sensitive now. You can like whoop kids' butt. You know, it's very sensitive about this.
Well, my
shit.
kids still get their butt whips in public.
Of course,
oh, they
of
do.
course,
And
of course,
yeah,
of course.
Dang right they do.
Of course.
No, but I will get to a fight, dude. I swear, I've been dying to get to a fight. You know I have been. And you called me out about the fight in Miami. I can't believe you did that. It hurts my feelings, dude. I'm gonna cry.
Okay.
See, we are sensitive.
I'll give you a hug after.
Hey, so you know what I wanted to ask you about is you were saying how, you loved 13 Hours, which was a great movie. You have some experience too, though, in film. Universal Soldier, Regeneration.
I remember
working with
you.
Jean-Claude
Yeah.
Van Damme.
Recently, I was in Equalizer 2 with Denzel Washington.
You're in the
Wow.
In the
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen
in
it
the
yet.
beginning, I was killed by teapot.
They killed you off. They blew up. They killed you off like that.
But listen, it's better be like with a big name actors, A-list actors, than be just it was fun.
So what's that like, transitioning to the acting world from the fighting world?
I would love to, but at same time I understand I can be like A-list, but for play furniture, I
That's
like
cool.
Nike. I want to do it. It's fucking easy. People
You enjoyed it though, or?
Fuck yeah, people treat you like a superstar, and I don't feel like comfortable. Just leave me alone. Just tell me
Yeah.
what time I have to be. That's it. I'm like, first of all, all my family it's military. I was in police academy, so time for me is like 3:45. I'm gonna be 3:44 and downstairs. That's it. They treat you okay. I said I didn't feel comfortable, but it was fun.
So of these guys that you starred with, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Denzel Washington, Dolph Lundgren, how are they? Cool guys?
Probably the coolest, Mickey Rourke, and
Was he-
I met Mickey.
Yeah.
Friends. I met him back in 2009 in Freddie Roach boxing gym.
No.
He's super cool guy.
He's
super cool.
He's actually, from what I've heard, and I've never met him before, but he also he got big.
Yeah, Wrestler was a fucking great movie when at that time he filmed it. It was nominated for Oscar, but I think Penn took it Oscar. But yeah, Mickey Rourke is fucking the best one. Denzel very educated. Van Damme and Langlet, yeah.
You can you do split? I say I'm about splits. Can you do the splits like Van Damme? I know.
Unfortunately not, but I bet you I should better than Van Damme.
I bet you. No, you do. I remember that Van Damme was like, when I was growing, that was like the thing. Everybody thought that was real. That was the real blood sport.
He's still like 50. How old is he? 51, 52. He still had that.
He still can do.
Yeah.
That just
It's
hurt.
good.
That's painful. Just me watching it.
Yeah.
Agree. It pulls on the gusset,
Yeah,
man.
all the time.
And
Yep.
my gusset actually strains when he did it. Ow.
Did any of these guys try to pick up any skills from you with your BJJ background, your Sambo background?
Third part of the film in Bulgaria, right after my fight against Emelianenko, when I get my ass whooped, and the director decided, no, I want Arlovski in this role. They brought me, and for me it was, what the fuck, when I was a kid, like my father was military, he was in Hungary, and I get posters on them, Schwarzenegger, Chuck Norris, like all this. For me it was, what the fuck, a dream came through, like 20 years later, whatever. And I remember, like, he told me once, we had a day off, and he told me, "Oh, Andrei, let's go ahead have a lunch together." I said, "Fuck yeah, let's go." And I remember we walked from our hotel to some, like, restaurant. It was March, it was, like, rain, snow, you know, dirty weather. First of all, I don't like when people touch me and wear nice clothes. I don't like somebody pulling or kicking or something. He started, for some reason, show me some kicks.
Van Damme did?
Van Damme on the
Okay.
street. I said, "Hold on 1 second." I took my jacket off. I checked. I said, "Listen, if you're gonna practice, come to the fucking gym. Don't show me this stuff."
Shit.
Was he trying to do it just so everybody could see? Was he trying to make a spectacle of himself? Was he that kind? I never met the guy. I don't know. I'm just saying. But I've been around people that yeah. Exactly.
We don't have video here, but
trying to make a spectacle of themselves to show, look what I can do in front of everybody. So maybe the girl that over there on the
By the way, he's never sharp for at night. For example, we practice like reverse for the next day. For next day, when they film him, he's never sharp.
I'm sure it was tempting
like,
to say to Van
not.
Damme, like, "Do you know who I am, man? Do you know what I could do to you?" I mean, he's an actor. He's never been in the cage like you.
Yeah, I admire. I did. I started watching, going back to UFC. I started watching that one. Actually, UFC 1, and when Gracie and Shamrock and all those guys.
All days, yeah.
And it was awesome because even at Battalion we started taking that. When I got to Battalion, that's what we would actually cross. That's what we started pulling in Gracie stuff into. Then we realized that yes, it's good at 1-on-1, but when you're you don't want to be on the ground when there's a lot of people around you. But that was my first indoctrination into that was in the special ops community. We started gravitating toward. That's why I was watching that, and you see in the special ops community the MMA stuff, it filters down into it. So as much as you like to say or not, or if we thank guys like yourself too, because we use a lot of that. And actually, you come to the combatives now, it's a lot of it's just MMA, and that's what the SEALs, Rangers, SF Delta. It translates. So we're copying you guys. I know we did it all the way back in '96 when it was UFC 1, and it made me feel, look at that. I'm 160 pounds. I can beat up a 300-pound dude. Wait a second. No, I'm not really that good at it yet. But it was pretty cool, dude. I admire. That's why I think that's why there's a connection. There's really and I know Tim Kennedy. I don't know his UFC career as
Tim
much.
Kennedy. Tough as hell.
But yeah, he's again. That's why he just went from there because there is that connection. I think that's why UFC and military and veterans there is that interwoven. I don't want to say brotherhood, but it is almost somewhat that we get along so well. And every guy in UFC that I've met, Kit Cope's another one, is a great friend, great fan. He worked. He never meet the levels that of course you did, but who has? There hasn't been many. But again, another guy's great friend, and he was in the gun community with Spike's Tactical for a while. So it's nice to see. Because I just said, even the first time I met you, I was like, dude, this is my boy right here. There was no. I remember like, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Holy shit, you are big as
I was 30 minutes in line.
You waited 20 minutes to beat Chris? Okay.
No, he signed something. I wait for Mr. Dunn, I'm here.
I didn't.
He sent his director, whatever. Like, I'm just.
I was like, hey, Ken, please. All right. He was trying to hide behind the smallest dude. Smallest.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was my friend. Yeah, Ace. Yeah.
It is. Hey, how long? Hey, I don't want to pay extra for the car. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Hey, what? Do you tell me what time you need to get going, brother?
I'm good. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're good. Don't worry about it. I think we're good.
I'm respectful of people.
Thank you.
I mean, I could cut all that out, but
don't cut it out. No, keep
okay.
Keep it in there.
So what I was going to say though is one of the guys I think who was kind of instrumental in that, Matt Larson, right? Of bringing that.
Matt.
I got to interview him a while back. And
Matt is a combatives, and he's a ranger. He actually a 75th guy. He brought the combatives. He's the one that changed from the old Sykes Fairbairns, the old left punch, right punch. He's the one that brought the UFC and the MMA stuff into the Army. And that's where the Army Combatives Manual is built off Sergeant Larson. And Sergeant Larson, of course, where'd he come from? 75th Ranger Regiment. Why does that just make, so it really is. So the new Combatives Manual, if you read it, I guarantee you, if there's an MMA manual out there, it's same, but it's necessary. And one of the guys that I learned from, his name is, he's a First Sergeant now, First Sergeant Bach. Little itty bitty guy, 2nd Ranger Battalion, but he's the one that was huge in the combats, and he actually helped me get in even more so and become a better fighter and Ranger Battalion. And again, now he's one. I think the Army has their own combatives team that goes to Olympics.
I didn't see any fights like in a 13 hours movie. It just like
bro, why if I'm not gonna fight you, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna shoot you.
Flashes dancing.
Okay, again, we go back to where I'm 5'9", 160 pounds. The least amount, if I don't have to fight you, and you're a bad guy, I am warranted to actually. We are not condoning shooting anybody on this radio, on this podcast if you get in a fight. No, this is different. We were attacked by terrorists. I'm not going to go head up with a terrorist, dude. Are you kidding me? I'm going to shoot him and then if I have to, no, there was that night. There was right around 3:30. I thought, I was like, well, dude, they're going to overrun us here in a second. And that's when it was okay. And I did. I made sure do I have my blade? Okay, I got my blade. Do I have anything else I need on me? I may run out. Pistol. How much ammo do I have in this thing? All right, we're gonna use this as it was like okay. Well, they get over. We're gonna have to go and that that's hard. People ask about combat and you can shoot and there's some desensitization there. Word I'm looking for. Being desensitized a little bit to it, but it's not close up. It really is. And I'm not saying it's easy. But it's easier than there's a mindset where you have to actually fight this close, or if you have to take somebody's life with a knife or hands, it's intimate, and that is different mindset. That's why it's tough because you're intimate close quarter battle. Combat is not. Hey, if I can stand off and finish the fight from a distance, why not? Of course I'm going to do that. And believe me, a gun scares me. Somebody that knows how to use a knife. That's why I do a lot of visual. I love being able to use a knife. That is scary. Somebody pulls out a knife, being cut, just the vision. It's animalistic. Yeah.
I saw some video. Guy tried to pull his gun from the holster, and guy was like 2 feet, 3 feet away from him, and he's like, by the time he took the gun, he's like, was next to him. Yeah,
you're done. It
was fucking impressive. Yeah.
It's brutal, and I admire. But again, this podcast we actually promote peace and love and kindness. We're not promoting to hurt anyone out there. And I think Andre's a perfect example again, where if we can.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna try to fucking hurt my opponent.
No, sorry, you in the ring, you better,
I'm sorry.
Dude. You better. But you're not going out there in the street looking for a fight. Nah, neither am I. You're just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Let me do. But damn well, you better hurt your opponent in the ring, dude. You better, and that's the mindset you're already getting. That's good. That's combative mindset. That's that, and you're gonna win. If you didn't have that burning desire in you, dude, why the hell would you even be going in the ring? Retire,
Agreed.
Be done, bro.
What was the first MMA fight that you watched where you were like,
when Chris mentioned big sumo guy right against 80.
It wasn't Shamrock, was it?
No, it was Shamrock. Okay.
Was that UFC 1 though, or
No.
It was not one. It was UFC. I remember. Police officer fought against some big sumo guy.
It wasn't Chemo.
I do remember that.
Not Chemo, but yeah, he like submit him like or something like it.
Was that
But at that point, were you like, I want to do this?
At that point, no. I thought that maybe one day I'm gonna be in Chicago, United States, and 12 years later, wherever I came like in September 29th, 2000, I flew to Chicago, and first fight was November 16th.
Was that UFC 3 where that UFC? He was an Omaha cop, Steve Jenham. They put him in, and he wasn't supposed to be. And it was not Dan Severin, was it? Did he submit Severin?
No. Some
I know you're
American
talking
guy,
about.
big one. Like,
yeah, I know.
Do you ever wish you got to fight in those days? Because I mean, it really was no rules. It was groin punches. There were no weight classes. I mean.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I saw some man. There was the Asian. I forget his name. It was the first one, and he was going to get Shamrock. And I remember Shamrock was hitting his right in the gusset, dude, right in the bow sack and the huevos. He was crushing his cajon. I'm like, okay, man,
it was painful to watch.
Yeah,
but I know a lot of the old school guys will say that was true MMA without all these rules.
I'm telling you right now, if he's gonna hit me in the balls, kick me in the balls in September, I'm gonna kick back. After 5 minutes, like recovery. Fuck yeah.
It's always hard back at the Ranger School. I was the last hard class at Ranger School too.
But they all said it, right? Yeah.
It's always going to be harder, and the guys come after, Damn right, dude. There's got to be some. I don't say rules, but that's no. That's,
Yeah, I mean, do you think it had to evolve to where it is now in order to be a legitimate sport, that we have to have some of these rules?
Well, first of all, it's nice that UFC has rules, and now look, it's one of the mainstream sports.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's growing. Like I remember, 19 years ago, it was just now. Whereas the UFC right now, it's fuck.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Definitely, you got to have a little bit of organization to go mainstream, because we are organized. We are a civilized, still, I think, we're a civilized society. So you have to have a little bit of it if it's going to go mainstream.
Yeah.
But it needs to go. It is necessary. And boxing's kind of lost its luster because you don't have the names and you don't have those characters like you did in boxing. Now they're UFC, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, and especially with the rules. If they kept to the old rules where you're still pulling hair, I remember Chemo getting his hair pulled. They were pulling on that ponytail, and I think Royce Gracie ripped it off when they were. It becomes Neanderthal, and people. You're not going to get.
Plus, MMA much safer now than boxing. You know, you can win by submission, choke, whatever, armbar, KO.
I think that's it. Well, this had a boxer die 2 weeks ago.
And another boxer died. So it's like,
it is. I think people think that's not as safe. It is honestly safer than boxing.
Yeah, I mean, those were the days that you're talking about when John McCain famously called it human cockfighting, and that was why we couldn't have fights in New York City, because people said this is barbaric.
Yeah, it's actually my first fight in New York City. Yeah, when I started, we just came here. Fight, I remember, was in New Jersey, not New York.
Yeah, I remember all those fights were in Jersey because it was banned
until... Ortiz fought, Shamrock fought, I remember we came to Madison Square Garden and took a picture or something,
It was banned until relatively recently here.
15 years ago.
But it is on all hands, it's safer. It is safer than boxing nowadays. It really is. And I just, to me, and I like the work ethic. I like seeing guys that work at their craft. It doesn't matter what age, you continue to work and you become better at your craft. And if you're not, you see it and not you yourself, unless you don't work at it, then I will call you out. I will. I'll text you. It's like, dude, what happened? Did you not work this time? You just retire then. If you're not going to put the effort into it, just retire. But they put their effort into the craft. And anybody that puts effort into your craft and you work hard at it and you don't quit and you have that intestinal fortitude, I'm going to admire, whether I agree with you or not. I don't care about politics. Again, that's why we could give two shits about politics. If you work hard at it. I think that's also why it's easy for us to be friends. I can be lazy now, though, because I got a podcast. So next time if you come in, I'm going to be 190 pounds fat with a cheese. No, I can't. My wife will leave me, and she's hot. I can't do that. My wife will be out the door.
Now, I've heard people say, by the way, when we were talking about the safety thing, that the lightness of the gloves kind of prevents that traumatic brain injury, in boxing, with the reverberating.
In boxing, first of all, they punch only 99% punches in the head, Like I said before, in UFC, it's like many ways to win. Leg lock, submission, armbar, whatever, choke.
It's tough.
Of course, everybody likes KO, but fuck.
Got to win anyway. And you get tired. It's hard to punch. You get on the ground. Getting on the tire, start rolling. You're getting tired. Just you got to choke to submit. Do something, because your arm bars, anything, just to end it.
Yeah.
It was. You get a kick at it. They when Larson started taking over Combatives, went through Ranger Indoctrination program. That's what we would do out in Coal Range, because it was a smoke session. We would just fight, and it would always 90% of fights stand up. They're going to end on the ground, and that's even in the real world. And they would end up, and they would just keep going until somebody submitted. And that was a heavier smoker than getting hazed all day. It's just, when I say smoked, I mean not smoking cigarettes. It means getting tired, for all you non-military people listening to the show. And I remember you would fight till you win, and then you get to go on land nav all night and fall over yourself and get attacked by pigs, which is that's cool too. But I remember fighting this wrestler, and wrestlers are always good, except they always are trying to submit. They're not trying to win until they teach you. But I remember I was at the lab. Me and him were at the championship. We were fighting, and it was championship for RIP, which means we were complete novices. But it just kept going, and they wouldn't stop it. And I remember I had him in a rear naked twice, and I couldn't finish it because I was so tired. And that's when I realized, oh my gosh, and I'm in good shape. This is hard stuff, man. And I had to get better. And so that's what I admire. I do. You think 3 minutes or 6 minutes is nothing, man. 2 minutes, especially when you get on the ground. You think you're fighting up top is hard? No, get on the ground, you're done. And I was in good shape. And it's just a smoke session. So then I said you're only 52, so really You're in great shape for being 78 years old.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Try to. My wife takes care of me, you know.
She does a good
etc.
She does a good job, brother. Yeah. Anyway, enough of me sucking you off. I'm done with that round. We'll do some more later.
I had a couple of questions here actually before we wrap things up. I wanted to ask you about when people hear this, the actual fight will have had happened since we're doing this a couple weeks in advance. Yeah. But for the people listening, who do you expect to win out of Diaz, Masvidal?
I thought he wasn't fight. Wait a second.
He apparently is. You could get into that actually. So just get a little closer, again.
Masvidal, he's my friend. We have same coaches, so of course I'm Masvidal. But I like both of them. But in this particular fight, I'm rooting for Masvidal. For Jorge, yeah.
And I want to get into...
He's my Cuban comrade.
He's your Cuban... Did you say Cuban?
Cuban comrade, yeah.
You dirty communist pig. No, he's not. We're kidding again. Oh, my, please, we're going to take this seriously.
I wanted to get into what Chris just asked, too, because a lot of people were confused with the technicality of that stuff. Like, is the fight off? Is the fight on? Because Diaz, we were kind of texting, tweeted out that he got popped for something that he says he didn't do.
What I read, he bought some vitamins at the Whole Foods, and he did smart thing for sure. He went ahead UFC and you saw he announced something and it's perfect. Fight's on. And
if it's on, it's on.
It's gonna be great.
And you said before we turned the mics on, you were like, I believe Diaz is completely clean.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, he doesn't look like he owns something, and he's all the time. He's I have a lot of respect to Diaz. So.
Yeah, I agree, man. He is a big name. I mean, I don't know many UFC fighters anymore. The new ones that have come up, but he is one that's been around forever, and I don't think he would solely just to. And it doesn't look like if he was on.
No, not at all.
I mean, and nobody. For full disclosure, and everybody does know that I did sell steroids, and I did them when I was in college playing football. I did. I know I've never always been this 160 pounds, but no, I did, and that's that. I wrote about it. It's not like it's not like I'm hiding anything, but that was 30 some years ago. But if you're doing it, you have to do it. You can't just do it for 2 weeks and expect results. It's got to be stacked, and you've got to do it for a cycle, which could be 6 months or at a time. And so, yeah, you'd see something. And so when I looked at the picture, I'm like, there's no way. Even human growth hormone. I mean, that's basically what eugenics. I'm not on eugenics. That's why me and my wife have that joke. Eugenics, this human growth hormone is what that stuff is. But even if he was doing that, which is legal, if you are low testosterone, I can qualify for that because I'm an old man now. AARP. You're going to see something. You're going to see, and he's not. I don't think he is.
Plus, you said all the time keep eye on all UFC fighters. Yeah. You can't hide somewhere for 6 months.
No, your face gets all red. You get the skin, and you just look. I mean, you look, and you look like a lobster a lot too. You do. You get red, but you do get monster. You do get the. You just don't look natural. Forearms don't look natural, and he looks like Nate. He's like a wiry little Mexican like me. That's what he looks like, whether he is Mexican or not. Latino, sorry, Latino Nate. I apologize. But you gotta watch out for those guys, man. Those wiry guys. But I have my money on your boy too. Just he's doing well. He's in it. He's in the. It's like
I was kind of upset when he's beat my record. He has a fastest knockout in MMA history. 5 seconds. Good for.
Oh wow! I didn't know that was your record. Wow.
No. My I still have my record.
I think he beat your record.
Yeah, he beat my record in 12 seconds. On that.
Nice.
He's the best one in the heavyweight division. So
he's in the zone right now. He's Michael.
But his 5 seconds, it was fucking unbelievable.
Who was that? I don't remember.
Paul Bontello, Mohegan's son.
He did the Mohegans.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to YouTube that.
Nice.
I didn't know that.
12 seconds, yeah.
So he's Frank Dukes then from Bloodsport. He's Frank Dukes, fastest KO ever. He built. Who was the guy in Bloodsport now? Frank Dukes. Who was the? He was the Chinese guy that had that in the movie Bloodsport. Oh, I can't remember. All right, forget what I even said. That was stupid. That was dumb.
The other thing I wanted to ask you, kind of related. Who else do we need to look out for in the UFC right now? Younger fighters, who's
Besides Andre Arlovski.
Who's the next generation?
Yeah, it's more than enough. Andrei Arlovski and Jorge Masvidal.
You know who I was really impressed by in that first
Please
fight?
keep your mouth shut because I'm going to embarrass myself right now. I don't know many UFC fighters. So
when I watched, actually, it was a couple of years ago at this point, that Doo-Ho Choi fight against, you don't know Doo-Ho Choi, Korean Superboy. Against Cub Swanson, I was so impressed with him, and then the fight after. All right,
see,
I'm surprised that I always, I figured a UFC guy is gonna have more knowledge than me. So
I'll be honest, you just kind of get in your zone. You get this age, and again, I think it's the marriage. You just kind of get in your zone, and you stay in your world. Like you got enough with just home life.
I thought Doo-Ho Choi was gonna be like the next guy, up, but. I guess not,
brother. Your boy, I can't even pronounce his name.
Masvidal.
Jorge Masvidal. Yeah,
he's the one. He's to me.
I gave him nickname Cuban Jesus, and I call him also Tony Montana.
Dude, it's Scarface, man. He's killing it, right? Literally, not literally, but literally. So when you're in the zone, he's just doing well. How old is he? Damn youngsters.
Younger than me.
Yeah, he's younger. Everybody's younger than me, though. So he's going to be around for a while in the UFC. Actually, however long that lifespan is anymore. I mean, it's just like any other professional sport. It's not long.
He's still doing it. I mean, Tim Kennedy's not, but Andre is.
I mean, Andre is. There's not many, and I'm not going back to sucking you off. I'm stopped doing that, but there's not many like you that have been around forever and have continued to fight. Even there's not.
I don't want to be forever, but at least like if my body let me fight,
you take care.
Stop me before 5 years. Yeah.
But you need, come on, dude, retire. 5 years. I'll get 5 years.
Till
maybe
45. 6. Listen, Foreman became world champion at age 46. Randy Couture, he was like champion when he was like 44, 45.
So you're going to be what I call the Jack Nicklaus. You're going to be Tiger Woods. You're going to be that age. You're going to come back just like you're going to win that green jacket when you're in your 40s, and then you can call it quit. I call it doing the Barry Sanders. Retire on top, man. Don't. We had old Rangers overseas coming in contracting they were Ranger legends, but they kept working until they were 60, and you can't do the job. Yeah. And it really is a shame.
It's not healthy.
No, it's not. Retire on top.
Well, so if he's still winning fights, keep at it.
And I still got to catch one. You can't quit. I'm retire. No, Andre, I haven't been one yet. You're going to fight until you're 80. Come on, you can't do this anymore.
So for the listeners out there, at Andrei Arlovski on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, which is Andrei Andrei Arlovski. Follow him on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Let Andre know what you thought of the interview. Any other stuff you want to get into before we wrap this up?
You need to get to the game. Go have fun, man.
That's right. He's going to a Ranger game.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for your friendship. It's continued friendship.
Thank you. First of all, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Dude, of course. There was nobody else.
Thank you.
No, that I wanted to use. No, I was like, when he said, no, that sounded like shit, didn't it? No, when he said, who's winning the first show, I was like, shh, I got it.
Thank you.
And I did. It meant a lot because, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things where it's
I hope you invited me because you don't want to attend my next fight. But yeah.
I do want to attend your, well, you know what? I invited you just so maybe I could talk you into coming to a training class eventually that you've been
I want to attend your classes, so just like anytime when you're going to be in Florida or somewhere, I will drive. I will bring my toys, so
and we will shoot.
Yep,
we'll have one next.
It's going to be great success.
It will be just because you're there. Who wants to see Tana? Screw out. I got you, brother. Thanks again. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Andre.
Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you too, brother.
Great guy. My first time meeting him. And I'm glad you made the introduction. I think that was a great first episode.
He's a great guy. Again, very humble. He is, and he doesn't have to be. I mean, because he could whoop pretty much anybody's ass. He could.
He made it clear. Even Van Damme.
He's a giant. But to me, he's a big, cuddly polar bear. Is what he is. He's a big, but his friendship, and he's loyal. He's a loyal friend, just like I am to him. And even though we may not hang out, and that's another thing, too, you don't need to hang out with somebody all the time for them to be a loyal friend. You just got to be a good friend. Just be, hey, may not talk to you in 6-7 months, but when I do, let's have the conversations be meaningful. And that says a lot too, because I think a lot of people's friendships, when you have a friend, and I've met a lot in these last 4 years, people, I'm your friend. No, you're my friend when you want to use me for something. Sorry about that. But no, that's not him in the case, and it's genuine. And obviously you could tell just by came across here, just by the way we talked to each other and made fun of each other. A good friend, like even me and you, we can make fun of each other.
Of course.
If you can't make fun of each other in jest, then how good a friend are you?
Exactly. Yeah. So once again, guys, at Andrei Arlovski, give him a follow.
Definitely.
But speaking about good friends of ours, I really wanted to make sure we get into this before we wrap up this first episode, because a guy that you and I knew mutually, that was a good friend of both of ours, former Marine combat vet, and
he worked global response staff. He was actually one of our team leaders. He was what we call a staff officer. He worked directly with the employee for the CIA. He's a team leader that would run the contractors. So we answered to him. It was Drew Dwyer.
Yeah, Drew Dwyer. Great friend of both of ours. And I got the news, basically, it was a little under 5 months ago. I got a call from our friend Ben in the NYPD, who we refer to as Ben YPD. Wilcow knows him, and Drew knew him. Mm-hmm. And he dialed my phone and he said, Drew is dead. And I mean, I was in shock. I didn't even know who he meant at first. Drew Dwyer? Yeah. And I called you because I didn't know who would know, but I apparently got the news even before his wife and everything. So he was trying to get in touch with his wife, Fran.
Fran's sweetheart.
Yeah. And it was shocking to me because there's certain people you meet in your life that you just connect with right away. And you're like, this guy's a good dude. It's how I felt meeting you. And absolutely how I felt meeting Drew. And it was just such a shame, man. I mean, when I think of like the true American warfighter, humble, all that, he embodied all of that.
He was a friend of mine for many years, even before. Just like I said, we worked together on as far as working with global response staff, which is, for those that don't, that's what actually I was when I was in Benghazi. That's global response staff, the CIA security element. Well, that's what Drew was as well. And a lot of people don't know that, which they don't need to at the time, because it was partly our fault. It was very secretive till the movie came out, even though it was still open source stuff. But Drew and I went through a lot, and even and I don't like to romanticize, and I'm not going to speculate I know what happened, but I'm not going to speculate the reasons why.
Sure. You know what I can say though, because I saw people commenting on this on Instagram and stuff. They were like, "Oh, perfectly healthy Marine, 40 years old, dies of a heart attack." This sounds like this sounds like he was murdered or something. I could at least say that is not what happened.
He wouldn't.
So I could say precisely that is not, So I don't like people putting out those crazy conspiracies.
And it's not with Drew, but the thing is I did see Drew, and I'm saying it was during that same time as well when those that were close to me, and Drew was close. Drew still is close, I'm going to say, because we actually would talk to each other because we were going through some hard times in our personal life at that time. And it's hard to really, it's hard to remove yourself from what we were doing before. What we're going deploying, being a Marine, being a Ranger, deploying and doing things that you feel are meaningful, and then you come into civilian life and you don't really feel like you have that meaning in your life anymore. And then our relationships with our loved ones go sour. And you have a choice to spiral out of control or to recover and get through it. And we were, he was one of the guys where very few that I would call and say, I was estranged from my wife at the time. We were divorced at the time, and we've since reconciled. But it was like, man, it's like, why can't I fix myself? And he was kind of going through the same things. I'm not going to get into his personal stuff because that's just not. But it just was. It was a time where, he actually helped me get my life back in order, and I was doing my best to try to help him, offering him to come stay at my house, offering him to come work with Battleline. We did training, so at least even he's out there training and shooting, which at least you're kind of feeling like you're back doing what you used to do. And it was tough, and then he didn't want to, and it was hard when we lost contact for about 3 months, and then that's when I heard from you. But what I want to tell guys out there. And again, I'm not speculating at all from what Drew or what was going through his head at that time. But, I was big into alcohol, and I got myself off alcohol. I wasn't in substances or anything like that. But if you're going down that slope and you're feeling that depression and you're going through a low time in your life, really, you can get all the help and you want buddies. Everything can be there for you, but only you can pull yourself out of that. Now, be a support network, which Drew was for me, which I thought I was for him. But bottom line is the only way you can get out of that depression is to pull your own butt out of it. You have to look in the mirror and say, I got to fix myself. And that's actually what I tell you. I looked in the mirror and I got to fix myself. I had a Ranger buddy who told me, tough love, man. He wasn't a pat on the back. You're going to be okay. It was, you need to fix yourself right now. And that's what we need to hear. But what demons Drew was dealing with, it's hard. I don't think people really understand those demons unless you walked in our shoes.
Yeah.
But God bless him. I know he's in heaven right now. I know he is. I know he's in heaven, and he's happy. He's in a better place. People, that's not cliche. I really do feel that, and his family. I want to bless them all in the world, and his family. We can figure out a way. My phone numbers have all changed since the last time I spoke to them. So if they've been trying to reach out to me and I haven't been able to get back to them, guys, I am so sorry. I don't have the same numbers that you once had when Drew and I were hanging out in New York City.
Yeah.
Going and doing karaoke. I mean, you tell that story too if you want to know that.
You did karaoke with Drew?
Yeah, we went out.
I was going to tell some funny Drew stories. Yeah.
Well, I'll do that. I came in and it was Drew and I it was doing actually a soft rep show. We were doing a soft rep show. And no, he's like, yeah, let's go out, and we would go hang out. And it was the first time I met Fran. And I said, let's meet Fran. This is Drew's wife. And I met her, and she had a couple of her friends. Then we went out and we had dinner and stuff. And Drew and I we weren't even paying attention. Let the girls do. Me and him are buddy. We're doing our thing again. And yeah, we went into this. He took me in Hell's Kitchen. I was three sheets to the wind. I don't even know where this karaoke bar was, like inside of a building that was inside of another building that was in the basement of another.
Which isn't so crazy in New York. In New York, there's a lot of like secret little places.
And it was like we had our own little private room, techno room, and we got karaoke going on. And I was like, oh my Lord, and I don't do karaoke, but it was so much.
What song did you guys do?
I can't. It was some techno song, and I why LMFO stuck in my head. I think it's probably because that's what I used to dance to all the time downrange. But it was something just total white, sitting around drinking White Claw, that kind of music, but it was a good time. And that was happier times, And he was. I think it was right before he was going to get married. So it was like
he got married in Italy.
Yeah, and then they got married in Italy, and I wish I just. Schedule I couldn't get to Italy to
so that was before I even met Drew, because he was married when I met him, or it might have been a week or two before. I mean, he was really either right before he got married or right around there. And we hit it off right away. I'll tell you two funny things about Drew. One thing is just kind of personality trait of him is we had like an inside joke where I would always call him my hype man, because if we were around girls at SHOT Show in Las Vegas or just in Manhattan, he talked about me like I was the most important person in the room. He'd be like, this is Ian Scotto. He's produced for Senator Bill Bradley, Sirius XM, Andrew Wilkett. Like, he'd list my entire resume and try to make me sound so impressive, which was it was hilarious to me.
He was my flip-flop guy. We're not coming to New York. I'd call him, say, hey, let's go out to coffee or have dinner. And I knew we had to go someplace dumpy because it was always shorts. It didn't matter what time of year it was. It was always shorts.
Camo shorts,
khaki shorts, and flip-flops. Like, dude, all right, well, let's go and get coffee then, because obviously let's go find a little bodega somewhere and get a candy bar, because I can't take you anywhere.
Yeah, no, he was not like a fancy guy. That was not, he was as down to earth as it gets, and loved his little dog, loved dogs, loved doing his firefighting as a volunteer.
Yeah.
But yeah, the hyping up stuff was so funny. I mean, I remember when we set up the studio where I was, we had a guy who was a real great tech guy setting up everything. And I am not a guy who knows how to set up a studio. I am not a tech guy. I mean, I know audio.
Pretty dang good job, man.
This isn't my studio. You're looking at it like I set this place up.
Good job, Spencer. Sorry about that. Good job, Spencer. Well done.
But I could do what Spencer does in terms of engineering, but in terms of like setting up the actual studio, I don't know how to do any of that. So when we were doing that, we had our friend Kirill, who I loved working with, but Drew didn't really know him, setting all this stuff up. And me and Krill were having a difference of opinion of where the audio levels should be. You know, if things are in the green, things are in the yellow, being technical here. And, but he was far more knowledgeable than me about the tech stuff. So this was like a friendly little debate, and Drew turns to this guy and he's like talking about me. He goes, "Do you know who the fuck this guy is? He's worked at Sirius XM. He's engineered like major shows." And I'm like, "Dude, chill. This guy's great. I don't know why you're attacking him right now."
That's just Drew.
Yeah, he was always defended me, always had my back. But then I'll tell you the funniest story involving Drew that I don't even know if you've heard before, but this always cracked me up. So when Drew was selling tactical gear and stuff and working with a team, he would get emails from different people of like, "Hey, could you send me a box of so on and so forth?" And it was guys in the company, and, you know, he was in charge of that type of thing. So he got an email unsolicited from some guy, you know, who didn't really introduce himself. And he's like, "I need you to send me over this, this, and this." And Drew emailed him back. And he was like, "Who the fuck are you?" And so the guy emailed people within the organization that Drew, the guy who Drew emailed, and he was like, "Hey, this was very unprofessional of this guy to send this. You know, I work for this team. For him to write this email back was not a professional response," that type of thing. So Drew finds out that this guy, although he's former military, I know him, great guy, he also likes to kind of go to cosplay events, like cosplaying as a you know, special ops guy, that type of thing.
So is he a special ops, but he would cosplay as a special ops guy?
He's a military veteran.
But he's not a special ops guy.
No. I think he actually went to Ranger school, so that type of thing.
Dude, hey, whoever you are, that's borderline stolen valor, but you're doing it under the cover of doing cosplay.
No, it wasn't
man.
A stolen valor thing, because he likes to go to these conventions with these hot chicks who like to dress up as, you know,
well, then be Master Chief from Halo. Don't try to be a special ops guy.
He's not playing it off like it's not stolen valor, but he's into doing the cosplay thing. And you know, I think it's cool if that's what you're into. I mean, I'm more into seeing the women who are into the cosplay than the guys.
I've never been to a cosplay, but I would like to, because I'm such a geek. I'm a Disney Star Wars geek. That's where I'd like to go.
So here's what Drew does. Drew finds a picture of this guy doing cosplay as a special ops veteran, and Drew attaches it to an email with a photo of him. You know, he's like kitted up with my, you know, a weapon on me, all of that, over in Afghanistan or somewhere. I don't know where he was. He was like, "I found the most badass picture of myself I could find next to this kid in cosplay." And he wrote in the email, "Sorry, bro, didn't mean to offend you. I didn't know I was talking to a fellow operator."
Oh, Lord.
That was Drew, man. He didn't give a fuck.
But he was just so nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
That was guys like myself. I get pissed off, or I'm not pissed off. Drew, he's pissed off, but he's still the same guy as when he just wakes up in the morning and he reminds me of Spicoli. That's why I said, "Dude, you're just like Spicoli. Hey, bud, what's up?" It's just the same all the time, no matter if he's angry, happy, sad. And you get a good laugh out of him.
Drew he had this personality trait that I was actually speaking with my mom about this, because we went out to dinner and she's like, that's not necessarily a good trait to have, but I have it. I don't know if
Probably
maybe
not.
you do. Drew had this in that if he liked you and he got along with you, you knew it. And if he didn't like you, he wasn't able to fake it. He wasn't able to be like, "Oh, great guy." Like he was just completely genuine. And, you know, there are people who were able to get along with everybody, but if he didn't like you, he wasn't afraid to just be like, "I don't like this guy."
That's with me. If I don't like, I just stay away from you.
Yeah,
because I've chopped my mouth off where it's just, you know, obviously, you know, when you go on Fox and you're so angry you're gonna choke out a former president, and then the Secret Service comes. That shows my anger. That's how I can go from 0 to 800. Like, so if I don't like you, it's just best for me just to you. And honestly, you're not worth my time. I was different. I am different aspect. It's like, you're not part of my. I don't need to talk bad about, but just leave me alone.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know who you are. Just get your waste of my life. But Drew was like, as I said, he was very nonchalant in his anger, and in his happiness was always the same. So if he didn't like you, he didn't come out with you as being just extremely angry. You could tell in his facial expressions. It was something very just subtle. It was a subtle just dropping, like, did he just say what I think Yeah, he did. He just called me an asshole, and he just went right by me because it was so nonchalant. It was the same as when he was happy with you. He was good, and he was the reason I told you. He, soft rep at that time, they didn't, and we won't talk so much about that. I know
sure.
Unless we will later, maybe another show. Again, I don't. They
I just
always,
feel like this is a new thing. It's like this is that's the past, but that is where we know him.
But that's the reason I came on. It had nothing to do with because there were some things that you if you're an operator, you didn't want to get involved with that because it was almost like a kiss of death if you were because of that situation scenario. But when he came on, I saw a friend. I saw somebody that diligent, trustworthy. That was the big. What he said, that's what we're going to do, and that's the only reason I came on and to get involved. No, hence, luckily I did because Will Kyle, and then that's how I got to know you.
Yeah,
there's always a blessing. There's always a reason. For that.
Always.
Whether you're in something bad or not, there's a reason you're there.
I agree,
and that was directly really. You want to say thank you to Drew because that's why we're here. Really, that's why we're here.
Yeah, I was gonna say one thing that really sucks and why I miss him is that like us doing this together is the type of thing where I would have loved to have, and I almost have that urge sometimes to call Drew and be like, hey man, like after a show like this. You wouldn't believe this podcast they just recorded with Chris. Like he was my biggest fan and supporter, and same with him when he would say like, hey, I got to go out with these actors and oversee some stuff and tell them some CIA stuff as a advisor in this work because he did a lot of other stuff too. And I wish I could call him and when we get out of the studio and give him the good news that we just recorded our first episode.
I'll be honest with you, he probably would have been sitting right here.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have said anything. He'd just be in the corner and like, Drew, you got anything to say? No, you're good. No, we're good. Yeah, no, we're good. All right, Drew, you quit talking so much, and we'd have kept going. But that was him, definitely, and it was good. I know there's people out there because when he did pass, I didn't say much about it, and I don't really believe putting that out on social media. I think again we romanticize death too damn much because of social media. I think maybe some people were upset because they knew we were close, and maybe people I was close to him. Well, why isn't Chris saying anything? Well, the reason I did is because it's awful because I don't want to romanticize his death. I will remember him. Believe me, I remember him every day, and we're honoring him now. But I'm not going to go on social media. I don't do that, and I really don't like when people do that, especially when it's a veteran, because to me that romanticizes it. It reminds me of saying, how many people you want to see come to your funeral. Well, that's not how you want to live your life, Yeah. Not saying that's what he was doing, but again, it does romanticize it. Here's another veteran that has passed away by other than natural causes. And I don't like that. I really speak up against that as well because there's too many that doing that, whether it's due to substance or whether it's due to by your own hand. We romanticize that way too much, and I think a lot of veterans with social media they look at that and go, "Well, I got nothing to live for. Well, it's my last hurrah." Again, I'm not saying that's what Drew's doing, but it pushes veterans that route, and the reason I'm saying that, guys, is because I saw that. I was pushed that way, and I had to pull myself out of it along with my wife, who managed to put up with my dumb ass and was able to help me, even though we were estranged at that time, pull me out of it with my kids and stuff. And again, a good Ranger buddy of mine that told me, hey, gave me the tough love I needed and didn't coddle me. But I do miss Drew immensely, and I love him to death. And we were a lot closer than I think most people realize. I know there's some of us like and there's a few people that knew, but we were very, very, very close. And I do miss him because he would be if we were doing this show, dude. I guarantee, even if we didn't invite him, which I would have anyway, he would be here right next to me in his camel cut off freaking shorts and flip flops, and it's raining outside.
Yep.
Yeah, he would be right here, and it's sad. But God bless him. That's why we're here.
Yeah,
we can attribute our being here to him and you, and me getting to know you through Drew.
Absolutely. Yeah, we miss him. And we're going to have to wrap things up because we're about to get kicked out of here in 10 minutes.
Spencer, are you kicking us out, man?
We're going to have to. So last things I'm going to say, and we celebrate Drew. We miss him. Thanks so much to Andre Arlovski for coming in. Follow Andre at Andre Arlovski, ANDREI. And then we set up all of our social media. So you could follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Battleline Podcast. On Twitter at BattleLinePod. If you want to email us, it's battlelinepodcast@gmail.com. And we're going to keep at it with some great guests in the future.
Cool.
Anything else before we get out of here? Anything you're plugging? Any speaking engagements?
Speaking, honestly, the speaking goes through Kepler. Anybody that and I do a lot of public speaking, and it's always about leadership and courage and sacrifice, selfless service. It's really what it is. I through Kepler Speakers Bureau. That's who books everything. So, guys, if you're coming to my websites and ask me about speaking, I'm just going to direct you to them anyway. It's just fair to everybody. And also they manage it, and I can't. I tried to manage it with a little bit of help from other people for 4 years, and it's a drainer. But I'm with a company that has integrity out there, Kepler, and it's spelled Kepler, Speakers Bureau, and they take care of me. Jay Conklin over there is one of the VPs, and anybody that's loyal to me and shows integrity, I stay with, and they are. So I don't really push a lot because a lot of those corporate events are private.
Sure.
But I have another book called The Patriot's Creed. 13 Hours First, which I co-wrote with the rest of the surviving Annex team members of Mitchell Zukov. Fantastic man. And guess what, guys? He is a liberal, and he's still my friend. So we can get along. All right, everybody out there. And he's awesome. He's a great guy. But then I also did The Ranger Way. That's out right now. And then also The Patriot's Creed. And Patriot's Creed is a little different because it's about – still has my stories in there, some other stories you may not have heard about when I was deployed or going through in the Army, or even just stuff in my life, but it's other guys. I was blessed to have an avenue to show what went on that night in Benghazi. And then I've also been blessed to have an avenue to show what other deployments I've been on and things. But there's guys that have been through just as much, if not more, that haven't been recognized. And for me, doing the Patriot Cruise is a way to recognize their sacrifices and how they overcame. And what I loved about it is each one of them didn't really want to talk so much about how they got injured or their life-changing event. It was how they overcame it and what they're doing now. So it's a book about overcoming adversity. And I think I think they're gonna enjoy it. And I appreciate Hachette with books to doing it. So that's out, Patriot's Creed, and then ChrisTonoprano.net. I got all sorts of swag if you want anything. Can I say swag? I'm too old for swag.
The shirt is awesome.
I'm 40. And Tadia actually does my KTP stuff. They're a fantastic little company out of Knoxville. And so I swag. I do feel old to say swag. Let's just say clothes. I've gone over almost 50. I can't say swag anymore without looking like an old fart that's trying to be cool.
You do not look 50 though. So.
Thank you for saying that.
You don't.
Well, it's that Metamucil and those dang one-a-days that I'm taking every and having a hot wife really helps you stay young. And my 4-year-old and my 15 and my 11-year-old.
Nice, man. Right? Yeah, so check it all out. Thanks so much for checking out this first episode, guys. Let everybody know. I mean, we don't have any big corporate, backing, so it's up to you guys to spread the word and for us to get listeners. So go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, get the word out. We're going to have some cool banners up that you could repost.
Appreciate it. Give a little love to Gotham.
Yes, Gotham Podcast Studio out of New York.
Yeah,
Spencer did an awesome job engineering this whole thing. Mr. Dope Pick at Mr. Dope Pick on Instagram, doing all the photos.
It's awesome.
Really appreciate it. And
we're going to have him on talking about alien. We are going to do the alien. Yes. Aliens are real, and Mr. Dope Pick's going to tell you all about it on one of our episodes. We're going to can we do the Twilight Zone music instead on it when he comes on? That'll be his theme music.
Sounds good to me.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
You're awesome.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for checking this out.
That's all for this week's Battleline podcast, but we'll be back on Monday with more American Straight Talk, so make sure you're subscribed. And keep up with the show 24/7 on Facebook and Instagram at Battleline Podcast. Also on Twitter at Battleline Pod. As always, never quit.